What's up, everybody? Trevor Sikkema here with another episode of the Draft Network's live draft series. Very excited about what we have cooking tonight, and especially because of the guests that we have. I am joined by Mr. Bryan Perez, the one and only. He works for the Bears Wire as well as Pro Football Draft. But more important to me and so many other people, I said this on Twitter. Bryan, you're like an OG pillar of draft Twitter, like when it began, man. So this means a lot that you're coming on doing a 7-round mock draft with me. I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you having me on, Trevor. Before we get started, man, a huge congratulations to you and your Buccaneers. I know how, like your tag says, Tampa Bay Trey. You're living the high life right now. But OG draft Twitter, yeah, those were the golden days, the golden era of draft Twitter. I think you can tell by the grays and the beard. I've been around a little while, but it was those were some fun times.
I was going to say, I don't want to date you too much because, of course, you don't look a day over 30 years old. But you were really, right when I started getting in the Twitter game with Draft Twitter, you and a lot of the other guys were already in the space and inspired me with some really cool work. So, again, this is going to be a lot of fun, man. What we're doing today or tonight is we are going through a 7-round mock draft. Bryan is going to be picking for the Chicago Bears. He's going to be going where no person in human history has ever gone before, and that is tackling a Chicago Bears draft while also talking about a potential Carson Wentz trade. We're going to get into that. We're going to see if Bryan's going to pull the trigger on that, if he would like that idea, if he thinks it's going to happen. We're going to get in all the details of that. And then I thought I would have a little fun. And so the team that I will be controlling will be a divisional foe. I'll go with the Detroit Lions. So he'll cover the Chicago Bears. I'll cover the Detroit Lions. Before we get to it, though, Bryan, just some overarching questions about Chicago. They had a wild year. It just they were winning a bunch of games at the beginning, and then they had all this confidence, and it's like, okay, how much of fool's gold is it? And then it kind of came down to the wire. They were in it at the end. What was it like covering that team this year?
It was fun at times. It was miserable at other times, but it was kind of a repeat of recent history.
Such is football, right? It was fun at times
exactly,
and miserable at times.
But unfortunately for Bears fans, what really ended up happening in 2020 was just the continuation of the Bears being in football purgatory, quarterback purgatory. If they kept losing when they were in the middle of that 6-game losing streak, maybe we'd be having a different pre-draft discussion with the potential to land one of these top 3 quarterbacks. The fact that they won a few games with Mitch Trubisky playing better than he actually is as a football player because he got some favorable opponents on his schedule, won some meaningless games. Yeah, they backed into that 7th wild card spot, but at the end of the day, here we are. They were one and done in the playoffs. Quarterback questions remain, and it just feels like we're riding this same old crazy train of a Bears offseason searching for a quarterback with a GM who has proven through now 5-6 years on the job that he can't find that guy.
I was going to say, I was kind of surprised that, given the records that they've had over the last 3 years, it's not the worst record with Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, but were you surprised they were brought back? I kind of was, given how the year really ended there down the stretch.
I can't say I'm surprised because do they really have a resume of absolute failure when it comes to the win-loss record that usually results in a regime getting changed? We're only 2 years removed from Ryan Pace being the executive of the year and Matt Nagy being the coach of the year. When you're in a big city like Chicago and fans expect better than 500 football, it's natural to, at the end of the season, demand change. And obviously when you have it's compounded by Patrick Mahomes could have been a Bear. That will forever haunt Ryan Pace. And the sooner he gets out of town, probably the sooner that nightmare ends. So I think anytime they're hovering around a disappointing end of year, these questions are going to come up. But it seems like it's a reasonable end result where we're at right now with them getting one more shot at this, which they probably deserve. They are only 2 years removed from winning the division and making a deep playoff run. So they probably do deserve at least one more go at this.
Yeah, that 2017 draft with Mahomes and Watson is going to haunt so many teams so much time. That game that we love to play where we go to Wikipedia and look at, who could they have drafted? So many people are going to sit there and look at those couple of quarterbacks' names. Speaking of quarterback, we got to talk about it. You brought it up with Mitchell Trubisky, not having much faith in him anymore. Nick Foles is still on the team, but no doubt this looks like an organization that's got to get aggressive for a quarterback, especially for a GM and a head coach who, like you said right there, they're basically on like a 1-year ride right here. They've got to prove their worth and make sure that this team's going in the right direction. And it's hard to do that looking at the quarterback spot right here. They, of course, made big headline news when they came up for being in the discussion for Philadelphia's Carson Wentz. What do you think about this deal? Because initially it was, I talked about with a first-round pick and another player, and now it's sort of like, okay, maybe it's a future first-round pick or things like that. What are the discussions of, do you think Wentz would be an option for them? And then talk about the price tag that's getting thrown out there.
Well, first, I got to say, we're living in such an amazing time where we could literally take a bunch of misinformation like we're getting on Twitter, and it becomes headline news day after day after day when nobody really knows a thing. I mean, literally nobody knows what's going on. But apparently
this makes our job fun, though. You know what I'm saying? We get something new to talk about every single day.
It is fantastic. But, here's how I look at this. Would I trade the 20th overall pick for Carson Wentz if I'm the Chicago Bears? Mm-hmm. And Bears fans are going to hate my answer. But I would. I would do it because if you look at Ryan Pace's draft history in the big chair in Chicago and his first-round track record, would you rather have Carson Wentz and his potential upside to get back to that 2017 season or Kevin White? Would you rather have Carson Wentz and that upside or Leonard Floyd? Would you rather have Carson Wentz or Mitch Trubisky? So we have concrete evidence that Ryan Pace swings and misses on high first-round picks,
right?
Let alone the number 20 pick, which is not going to be a blue-chip premium prospect. We'll go through the exercise in a few minutes.
Yeah,
we'll see exactly who could potentially be the guy that's traded for Carson Wentz. And I know, I get it. Carson Wentz has regressed over the last couple of years, and you could either say it's him or it's the organization that failed around him. But he played some pretty damn good football, too, on his resume. And while it is 3 or 4 years in the rearview mirror, I do think changes of scenery can help guys sometimes. And when you think about the history of the Bears quarterback position, and when you can honestly say the greatest quarterback in the franchise's history, the 100-plus year history, was Jay Cutler, you need to do whatever it takes to just take a chance. And Carson Wentz, to me, if he hits, if they trade the 20th pick on him and they get the guy that was there in 2016, 17, at times when he's healthy, he would be the best quarterback they've ever had. And that's crazy to say that, but he would be that guy. And then the other thing, Trevor, is who else is out there? They're not going to start Nick Foles.
Right.
And if you got to sacrifice the 20th pick overall this year, you do it. You do it because the position is so important. You don't have a chance unless you have a guy with the upside of Carson Wentz. He has a very low floor, but a very high ceiling, and you got to swing on the ceiling.
We're to this point, we've talked about it for a couple of months now, where we look at all of these teams that could potentially want a change of scenery at quarterback, some of them more dire than others. And then you go look at the amount of quarterback options, the draft included, and you just go, shoot, if more than half of these teams actually want to make the trade happen or make something changing happen, they're going to get some quarterbacks that might be these risks. And now we're seeing that with Chicago. So let's fire up that mock draft machine. Let's get right to it. We got Robert Juden on the other side of the metaphorical glass doing the producing here for the machine. I'm controlling the Detroit Lions, so my pick will be up first. And as always, trades are very involved. If you were a TDN premium member, you know very well that as you go through the mock draft machine, you will get trades from the computer and you have the option to do some different trades. And so, Rob, you can let it run. We can go to 7. I don't think I'm going to trade 7, although we'll see. We'll see what's here. Okay, so Washington wants to give me a 1 next year, a 2 this year, and a 4 for number 7. Get all the way out. Absolutely not. I'm insulted by that offer. I'm never going to take a Washington trade ever again because of that. The Los Angeles Chargers want me to move back to 13. Give me an extra 2nd-round pick, 4th-round pick. That was not bad. What's the other one, Rob? What's the other one there with Indianapolis? A 1, a 2, a 3, and a 5. Okay, I like this Chargers trade the most, but can I see who's on the board here for the Lions? I want to see who's on the board. Let's do a little manipulation here. Let's do the counter trade. Oh, Jalen Waddle is still there. Oh, man. Oh, Jalen Waddle's still there. Trey Lance is also there. Man, I think
I would offer to help you, but you're the Lions, so I'm keeping quiet.
Okay, Okay, so if you were in this situation, do you have an inclination one way or the other? I'm thinking between Jalen Waddle and Trey Lance. It's basically, do I want to go get the quarterback and have him there? They probably have Jared Goff at least for 1 year before they can move on from that with that contract. But with Lance, he's only 20 years old. Probably didn't matter too much anyways. The other side, wide receiver, they don't really have a wide receiver under contract. So would you be leaning heavy one way or the other?
Yeah, I'd be all in on Jalen Waddle here. I mean, the guy's a special talent, field flipper. If he wasn't hurt, he probably would have been the one we're talking about more so than Devonta Smith. So Waddle to me is he's an elite talent. So
all right.
I think when you're looking at him compared to Trey Lance, Waddle, you're going to get immediate returns. Jared Goff's going to be able to get him the ball. I mean, that's what I would do. But again,
all right.
I want you to make a mistake. So
I normally go Lance here because I love that idea so much. Also because I don't really believe in Jared Goff. But I will go Jalen Waddle here. It makes a lot of sense. It was kind of a decision between the two. I've gone Lance a bunch. I have not gone Waddle as much as of late. But look, I don't think Kenny Golladay is very happy. You don't have any wide receivers other than Quintez Cephas under contract. Waddle, I think, makes a lot of sense. So here you are. You are up at number 20 with the Chicago Bears. Tennessee wants you to move back 2 spots in the first round, and they want you to flip a 4th and a 5th. That doesn't seem like much.
Decline.
Yeah, okay. What's the next one? What else?
No, thanks.
Okay, Jets want to move back to 23, so there's 3 spots, and they give you a 3rd, but they take your 5th.
No, thank you.
Okay, all right, we're going declining on both. So who's on the board here? Who's some considerations here with it? Chicago with what could be a Carson Wentz pick?
So now this is the point, right, Trevor? Let's look at this board. This is what all Bears fans have to pay attention to because this could be the reality. Everybody's banging the table. Don't trade the 20 for Carson Wentz. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Well, you look at the board here. Tell me one player that would make a bigger impact in 2021 than the best possible Carson Wentz. I get Elijah Vera Tucker would be a plug-and-play starting offensive lineman. Rashad Bateman, in my opinion, this could be a very, very hot take. He might end up wide receiver 1 when it's all said and done in this year's draft. The most productive, let me just say this, not the first receiver drafted, but the most productive receiver to come out of the class is how I should say it. So he would make a lot of sense if they lose Allen Robinson in free agency, but we got a draft with what we know right now. And as of right now, Robinson's even hinting at wanting to come back. So
I was going to say, do you like gut reaction? Do you think Robinson would be back? Because I do so many like free agency articles for the Draft Network. And, if a team has a wide receiver need, I basically go, yeah, they'll probably be interested in Allen Robinson. I'm curious. Do you think he'll be back?
I mean, the Bears are playing a very dangerous game because I think Allen Robinson is going to have a much, much higher value on the open market than the Bears are probably thinking right now. You look at a team like the Baltimore Ravens. He is tailor-made to be Lamar Jackson's kind of number 1 target, a guy that can catch outside of his, has a big catch radius, inaccurate quarterback's best friend. And it's not that Lamar Jackson's an inaccurate quarterback, but he's also not the most accurate quarterback. So a guy like A-Rob there, I mean, they're going to back up the Brinks truck for him. So if they don't tag him as a franchise, with the franchise tag, he's obviously gone because he's going to get a big offer. I think the franchise tag is a realistic possibility. So I'm going to make this pick under the impression that he is franchised and that they at least get him back for next year.
Okay.
And if I mean, look, like I said, I would trade this pick immediately for Carson Wentz. There's not even a question. I mean, Mac Jones is sitting there at 33. Maybe. I think Mac Jones is going to go much, much higher than this. I think you could circle the 49ers at 12 for Mac Jones.
Wow. I think this is kind of the range for him, but I have heard whispers of him going even higher than this.
I mean, Jones might give me a little bit of pause, but I'm going to go with Vera Tucker.
Okay.
The Bears showed last year how much better their offense can be when they got decent play from the offensive line. Vera Tucker would be a blue chip upgrade, so he makes a ton of sense there. And
Vera Tucker's great for them as well because he gives you that offensive guard or offensive tackle versatility, depending on how much you want to cut with Massey or Leno Jr. If you want to get rid of both of them, if you want to get rid of one of them, if you want to keep both of them, I think that no matter what scenario it is, I feel like Vera Tucker could help out the Chicago Bears. So that does make a lot of sense. I'm up with the Lions again. Well, not quite, but Jets want me to trade a 2 and a 4 and a 7 to get a 5th back, and I'm popping up 5 spots. No, I'm going to say no to this. Maybe I should have said yes to that. I already have regret. Oh, Atlanta asking you to move up. 5th round and a 6th round pick, and you get to move up 16 spots in the 2nd round. What do you think?
I guess who's on the board?
Let's see who's on the board. Who we got? We got Leatherwood, Eichenberg, Javonte Williams. Who's a wide receiver? Any wide receivers make it? Oh, Rondale's still there. Nico Collins is there.
Rondale, I mean, I get why people are excited about his athleticism. He's not a guy I'm going to trade up for, though.
Mac Jones went one pick after you.
Yeah, that's rough. Could I see the offensive tackles again?
All right. Oh, we're going pure beef. I love it. Let's do it.
I mean, this has some potential here, right? I like all of the top 3 guys that are left. And what are they asking for? What do I have to give up?
I believe it was a 5th and a 6th from you, and you pop up 16 spots. So now you're picking at 52. If you wait till 52, I'm not sure any of those guys are still there.
I'm going to take that deal, man. I'm going to take it.
All right, let's do it. Wheeling and dealing.
Now I got to figure out who I'm going to draft.
All right. No, it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of fun. You start sweating. You know, this is the rush that you get when you use the mock draft machine.
So for this trade that makes sense, I'd have to go offensive tackle because Vera Tucker, I think, is going to be a great interior offensive lineman.
Okay.
This might not be a very popular pick, but I'm going to go with Dylan Reduns from North Dakota State.
Okay.
I think that he has the most upside in this range of offensive tackle. I think his ceiling is extremely high. And he's also kind of like a Vera Tucker, where if he fails at tackle, I'd start him off at tackle in his career. If he fails there, he'll be a really good guard. So I think the Bears get 2 starting offensive linemen in their first 2 picks of this draft. And to me, when you think about how bad their offensive line was over the last 2 years, if you can't grab a quarterback, you at least fix the next biggest hole in the first 2 picks.
He's also fantastic in the run. And that's one thing that I feel like Chicago has not been able to do enough is just those drive starters, those next series, first down, second down. Like, we got to run the ball and we got to move it. And I feel like, Radens would be a great upgrade there. Tevin Jenkins, though, I got to say, went 1 pick before you were on the board. I feel like if you got Tevin Jenkins and Elijah Vera Tucker, that would have been a hell of a haul 1-2. But I think Radens brings a lot of beef and a lot of strength to you on the trenches anyways. Los Angeles Rams. They barely have any picks anyways. And they want... Okay. No, I'm not doing this. I'm staying on the board here. That wasn't enough for me. Can I see... Oh, Christian Barmore is still here. That'd be huge for them. Who's left at linebacker? I'd love to see the linebacker. Dylan Moses is also still here. Baron Browning. I think they could use both of those guys, but I think I can wait a little. I think can get sneaky and pick Jabril Cox later. I got to go Christian Barmore. I think that's huge. I think for them to have the chance to get Barmore at the top of the second round, that'd be fantastic. Barmore, I think, is probably going round 1, but he's a fringe guy, so I think that there's an opportunity here. I think that a pass rush player like him for the Lions would be big. Yeah,
I'd be shocked if he's there. In round 2, but he's a guy that made the most of those late season games, and it's kind of last in time, first in memory. So
that's very true. That's a great way to put it. So I'm giving up 71. I'm moving all the way back for an extra 4th. Nah, Patriots can get out of here. Nah, Matt Patricia's not in the building anymore. I don't have any reason to do you any favors. Okay, show me linebacker here. Come on, Jabril Cox got to be on the board. Yes, he is, baby. Wait, corner. All right, corner. I don't want to have all that excitement and then miss a corner. Okay, Sean Wade's here. No, I'm going Jabril Cox. Give me Jabril Cox. I would be to the moon if I was a Detroit Lions fan with this haul right here, getting Jalen Waddle, Christian Barmore, and then Jabril Cox. Those are 3 fantastic players for what they need. Oh, this is me again. A
lot of activity here, man. A lot of the phones are busy.
I know. 2022-6. No, that feels like cheating. I'm not going to do that. I probably should do that, but that feels like cheating. I'm going to say no. All right, so you are up here at pick number I can't see because the logo is in the way, 83. You already got two strong trench players in hand.
Let me see the wide receivers.
All right. You probably got some good ones to pick from. I love this sweet spot for wide receivers. Tylen, Amari, Diami, Sage, Seth. All these dudes I think are ballers. So I think that they could be fantastic. It's just which type of player do you want to get?
And I know the answer to this already, but there's the quarterbacks. Let me just see the quarterbacks who may have slipped in here. No, okay. All right, we can move on from that. Let's go back to the wide receivers because that's something that I do think the Bears are going to address with one of their first couple of picks. I know a lot of people like Tylan Wallace. I'm just not. I'm not there, man. I'm not
this
there.
This is a pro Tylan Wallace.
I know. Believe me, I know you are a Wallace fan, so I want to be careful with how much heat I bring on that one. But there's a lot of guys like Tylan Wallace walking around. And when I look at wide receivers and I'm trying to grade a wide receiver, they have to have some kind of special quality that jumps out that makes me think they're going to stick around for 8 to 10 years. And guys like Tylan Wallace, yeah, he could be a back end of a roster guy, in my opinion, for a while, because again, you could find a lot of guys like him. Wide receivers, I've been told this for years and years and years. They are a dime a dozen. So if you're going to draft one with your first few picks, he should be a pretty special guy. And the reason why I'm hesitant here is I really don't see that guy. It's going to be crazy.
I was going to say, Diami Brown gives you the vertical stretch if you want that. I mean, Seth Williams can give you the upside as an X receiver on the line of scrimmage. Daz Newsom's a pretty dang good slot player. I mean, you got your taste of time. Amari Rodgers is great after the catch. You got a lot of different guys here, but somebody's got to really tug on your heart here if you want to go wide receiver.
This is going to be Bears fans are probably burn my Twitter timeline down. But can we go back to the offensive lineman?
Wow, this man,
no, it's crazy. Listen,
this man,
how do you build a championship team?
This man saw what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did in the trenches, and he went, "I want it."
They do.
Jackson Carmen's still there. He's got the beef. Brady
Let's go
Christensen as well. All right.
Let's go the interior.
I love Ben Cleveland. I really do. I think that he's good.
All right. Well,
I'm going to go not first round. Everybody's going to freak out and say I got Ben Cleveland in the first round. Calm down. I just think he's a good offensive line.
So here's the thing. I think Anthony Miller's played his last down in Chicago at wide receiver, so I don't think we have any choice but to go wide receiver. We looked at the board. There's obviously no quarterbacks. We back-to-back offensive line, interior or offensive tackle. Both those guys are have positional versatility. Let's go. Just before I take Rodgers here, because that's the guy I'm circling. Let me see the edge rushers.
Okay. Always good. Always good to go priority position. Hamilcar Rashed. You got Patrick Jones, Joe Tryon.
I like Patrick Jones. I do like Patrick Jones quite a bit.
I do too. He's just got to get a little bit stronger, man. I love that explosiveness off the snap, but he gets caught a little bit too much. He gives up the back, he gives up the shoulder, but dude, that guy can explode out of his stance.
He's an explosive dude, and he'd have the benefit of getting bigger and stronger behind Mac and at least Robert Quinn initially.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm going to prioritize an edge rusher or a wide receiver who I'm not in love with, I'm going to go with Patrick Jones.
Okay, there we go. This is also a pro Patrick Jones podcast, and so I like that as well. Getting him in a situation where he doesn't have to play right away, because I agree with you. I think that he could stand to get a little bit of NFL practice under his belt, and I think we saw that a little bit at the Senior Bowl. But you cannot teach that kind of explosiveness that he has. Exactly. He also, that motor's running hot at all times. So I love Patrick Jones, I really do. Bucks are calling me. They want to give me a 3, a 4, and a 5 for what's this here, Rob? Let's scroll down, a 3 and a 4. No. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna keep my 88 pick because I think I'm up right now. Yeah. Who's a corner? Who made it down to me at corner? Oh, Trill Williams, Izzy Mukwamu, Keith Taylor. Oh, I like Keith Taylor. Kelvin Joseph. Kelvin Joseph got a lot of talent. Let me see their corner room. They got our Warrior. They obviously have Akuda. I need a safety because Harmon's free agent as well. All right, I'm looking in the chat. Here. Take the trade, Trevor. We need more picks. All right, so if I'm picking a corner here, Lions fans in the chat, who would you want? Who would you want here? I will get the crowd. Who wants to be a millionaire a little bit here? Because I'm very interested to see what people would want. Goff needs a wide receiver. Well, okay. That's not exactly what I was about to pick.
And you got a pretty good one in the first round, too.
Don't want a CB. What is wrong with you people? No, I'm just kidding. No, I added Jalen Waddle already. I'm thinking about Israel Mukwamu. Who's their wait? Who's their nickel? Am I crazy? Who's their nickel corner? Oh, it's Coleman. Oh, it's just Coleman. Right. Of course.
What's the overall board look like right now?
Yeah, let's see the overall board. Here. I'm getting a couple of guys in the chat. People want another. Wow. Want another wide receiver. All right, let's see wide receiver again. I guess they're right. If they don't bring back Kenny Golladay, they need to get a lot more help with wide receiver. I could draft Tylan Wallace and amend for your Tylan Wallace sins there that you had a couple of minutes ago talking smack about him.
And that'll be the best thing for the Bears, an average wide receiver in the division. It's fantastic.
I really like Seth Williams here. I know he's ranked 125 on TDN's board, but I think he's going higher than that. Because that way you got Waddle. Blitz really wants Mukwamu. Rob, can you scroll over? Can you see what my next pick is? I got 88 and 111. Oh, I got a chance here. Folks. Okay, give me Israel Mukwamu. I'm gonna go with Izzy Mukwamu here at 88, and then we're gonna roll the dice. We're gonna go wide receiver at 111. Come on, give it to me.
See, I think you're playing this right. You can get wide receivers, man. These guys slide, and there's really not much separating them at this point.
Oh, yes, Seth is still there. Let's do it. Seth Williams.
I'm saying, man.
Give me.
You gotta
Seth
wait
Williams.
on that position. If you don't get if it's not a Jalen Waddle, you can get these guys late.
We did that beautifully, chat. That was wonderful. You guys were yelling at me to pick this guy or this guy. I got both. What's up? All right, so I don't know. I feel like the mock machine's going to run a little bit here because I don't know 150.
I traded everything to the Falcons.
Yeah, I actually think you did because you moved up a little bit. I changed my mind. To Seth Williams. Blitz is hype in the chat right now. Let's see. Let's see offensive line. What do we got at offensive tackle? Oh, wow. Christensen's still there. Oh, I like this. What about safety? Let me see safety.
Walker Little's still on the board too. That's a guy who, it depends how confident you are in upside.
Yeah, he's got a lot of talent. Drake Jackson.
He hasn't really had a chance to show it on film, but
let's see the offensive tackles again. You know what? I'm all about it then. You convinced me. Let's roll the dice a little bit here. We just got the dream picks back to back. Walker Little, consensus 5-star offensive tackle before the injuries at Stanford. So let's go Walker Little. Let's go Walker Little here and roll the dice. Get a potential high ceiling dude in the 5th round. I mean, this is what drafting's all about. Do you have another pick, Brian?
I'm looking, man. I think I might have checked out early here. No, I think I got a couple in the 6th round.
Man, he's chilling over here. All right, so you have 2 more picks. You get 2
franchise changing picks.
I thought you were pulling a Mike Ditka on me and just trading all your picks and then just lighting a cigar and getting out of there, going to golf early.
What a draft moment that was, man. That was
unbelievable flex. He wanted Ricky Williams, and damn it, he got Ricky Williams. Oh shoot! It just simmed past it.
I got passed, man.
How did that happen?
I don't know, but let me just see who. Listen, this is typical Bears, right? This is exactly what's meant to happen to the Chicago Bears on draft day. Might as well sim past it. Chances are it's a better pick than Ryan Pace will make anyway.
Look, I love Shi Smith though, but how many wide receivers? Go to my picks. How many wide receivers is that for you?
If you go to the wide receiver board, I don't think I've taken one yet.
Oh, right? Dude, this is a great pick.
No, but let me tell you, if I had the pick.
Yes. Yeah.
If I had the pick.
Tell me where we're going.
One of my favorite draft crushes in this class, and the guy I would have taken there over Shi Smith is Austin Watkins, the wide receiver from UAB. I think this guy is not being talked about nearly enough. Has the physical traits, especially when you're coming here in the 6th round range. Nice. You draft for traits and athletic ability, and I think Watkins is a guy who's going to be. He's going to make his way into a legitimate contributor role sooner than later. He's going to outplay his draft slot.
I love it. Hey, you have another pick at 223, and as long as the mock machine doesn't sim past it, which there's no guarantees at this point, right? You might get the chance to take
get him.
Let's see it. Let's see it, Rob. I don't know if it's gonna like super speed up again. Oh, it looks like it's going all right. Maybe we didn't break it. High score, what does that mean? Did I break it?
So I still get my guy.
There it is.
Would I go back-to-back receivers here if this was a non-Sims 6th round? Probably not. But to make good on what happened just before, I wanted to come out of this draft with Austin Watkins. The fact that I could get him here, this is probably where he'll go to on draft day. He's gonna be a name to watch.
And a couple of wide receivers too. You know, I mean, like you talked about Anthony Miller. We've talked about Allen Robinson. Getting 2 wide receivers here on day 3, I think there are far worse things that the Chicago Bears can do. So I think that's a good one. I loved hearing about Watkins and him being your guy, because I always love hearing who people love on that day 3 range or in the middle rounds, because I think that's always a lot of fun. All right, let's check out the user picks. Let's recap the draft here a little bit. I was the Detroit Lions at number 7. I went with Jalen Waddle at the top. Got lucky, got Christian Barmore in the 2nd round, and then followed it up with Jabril Cox. I feel like that was a home run first 3 picks. We then rolled the dice a little bit, and again, we came out lucky. We got Israel Mukuamu and Seth Williams, then Walker Little later in the draft. Man, that Lions fans.
He did well, Trey. He did well.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Somebody gave me a shout out because they were like, "Oh, please do the Lions. Please do the Lions." All right. I was like, "All right, that's a lot of fun." I think we actually hit a home run draft here with the Detroit Lions. So, Brian, your first pick was Elijah Vera Tucker. We didn't do a Carson Wentz deal. You went with offensive line instead. And then you had the opportunity to trade up again. You did so, got Dylan Radins on the team as well. So you really beefed up the offensive trenches, which, look, you know, whoever's playing quarterback, it's got to be a better offensive line than it has been in Chicago. So that makes a lot of sense. Patrick Jones, big fan favorite here on the show. You went with him at number 83. And then back-to-back wide receivers to close us out, Shi Smith. And then your boy, Austin Watkins. Appreciate that, Brian. That was a lot of fun, man.
I think this was a really, really fun exercise that Bears fans have to pay close attention to, because if you take Vera Tucker out of this draft return and you sub that in with Carson Wentz, what would you be happier with? And that's what Bears fans have to ask themselves. They can't look at Carson Wentz and say he's not where I don't trade a first-round pick for Carson Wentz. It's not a first-round pick. It's who could you get at 20 that you'd be giving up for Carson Wentz? And you look at how the board fell. No quarterbacks that are in the top 5 consensus were there. You have a situation where if you're not going to get a quarterback in this year's draft, is an Elijah Vera Tucker good enough? I appreciate that, Paige. Is Elijah Vera Tucker?
Paige said in the chat that she's firing Ryan Pace and hiring Brian, which I would fully agree with. But maybe that's because I'm jealous and I want to see Brian thrive. So,
but yeah, I mean, Vera Tucker or Carson Wentz. That's the consensus mock return right now. But give me the upside on the quarterback, Trevor. I mean, you know what it means, what it's like to get a quarterback finally. Look what happened.
You
just
true.
happened to get the greatest that's ever walked planet Earth. But look at the difference. You went from a guy in Jameis Winston who has all the tools, who can make all the throws, but he just didn't have the it factor. He couldn't take the Buccaneers to that next level.
Right.
They make that change at quarterback and another couple pieces here and there, but that big substantial change, the Tom Brady edition, it takes your team from, hey, this team has all the talent in the world, to now a world champion. And the Bears aren't that close. Carson Wentz isn't Tom Brady. They're not going to be able to get to that point by making one trade for Carson Wentz. But if you get the Carson Wentz from 2017, if you catch lightning in a bottle, I would pray for that over any guy they're going to get at number 20.
Listen, last time Nick Foles and Carson Wentz were on the same team, Eagles won a Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So you look, I mean, the recipe was there for Chicago. That's what Pace is trying to go after.
So awkward. This is such a bizarre world, isn't it? Like, to think, I can't imagine a reality where Nick Foles is on the roster if they trade for Carson Wentz. It's just so awkward. That's so bizarre. But to think that this could end up happening where these two guys are in the same quarterback room again for a team and a city that's dying for a world championship again.
Right.
I mean, but this is the Bears. They won't have the Eagles' luck, man.
Listen, you don't know that. We manifest on this show. We manifest on this show. We manifest good things. Brian, I really appreciate you joining me, man. Tell all the people where they can follow your great work before I let you out of here.
On Twitter at Bryan Perez NFL, Brian with a Y. All the Bears stuff over at the Bears Wire, and I'm doing some draft work over at my site, profootballdraft.com. Trevor, you're the man. I appreciate you having me on tonight, man.
Oh, I really appreciate you joining me. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys had some fun too. We will be back next week with another edition of the Draft Network's live mock